Hey beauties, lovely humans. Just waiting for Facebook to start up here. All right, there we go. So lovely to be here with you. Um, this is a little impromptu, except not. At the beginning of the month, with my email list, I put out that I was doing the Q&A today at 3:30 and Eastern, and never advertised it on Instagram or Facebook. So actually, I like 2 days ago, I was like, oh, the Q&A is this Saturday. I didn't put an email out this time. I didn't so I almost canceled it. And then something was like, no, you need to come on. So here I am, with a little less of an announcement than usual, but I trust that whatever is supposed to come in is going to come in. I actually haven't even had any anonymous questions come in or anything since I didn't do any advertising, but I trust that perhaps some questions are going to come in live this time. And that also, whatever information that needs to come in will come in general. Hey, Dawn, thanks for being here. Really appreciate you being here. So for those of you on Instagram, you already know this, but on Facebook, unless you've been seeing my stories, you wouldn't know this. I actually completely impromptu came to Grand Rapids on Wednesday. So glad I did. But if you're wanting to book a one-on-one session with me, in person outside, I know it's still a tad chilly, but we've been getting bundled up, and meeting in like parks and stuff. And it's been just so nice, even though we've got like these our big coats and our hats and whatnot. The sun is out. The strength of the warmth of the sun is just amazing to me. So, um, blows my mind. So we've been sitting in really incredible space together, and I don't know, I've been sensing so much anxiety up in the collective right now. And when I say in the collective, I'm speaking specifically like it's on an individual level, but then it actually goes macro as well, and then the macro is reflected back in micro. And it's this constant. Yeah, I'm getting lots of hearts on that with it, from Instagram. Um, hey Becky, hey Blythe Ads, thanks for being here. Um, yeah, so what I've been seeing is this general through line of people showing up, and this is not just for in-person people in Grand Rapids, it's also for folks online as well. Um, just seeing this general through line of people showing up and being super anxious in the beginning of the session. And a lot of specifically like mental preoccupation and just like this, like the spinning thoughts and feeling like you're in these stuck situations that like you can't get out of. And then literally within like 5 minutes of the session, and I'm not even saying anything to the people who are there or the person who's there. It's like literally I'll just be like, okay, so do you feel like that's the truth, or how do you feel about that, or whatever, and or what do you think you should do? And it just takes that simple question for them to be like, oh, it's this way. And then they're like, oh, huh, okay, so that was easy. Um, that was simple. And then we've been spending the rest of the time like going into like just very simple tools and coping mechanisms to be able to cope with that. I like to call it the beehive brain, when it just is buzzing, won't stop, and everything seems like a problem and everything seems out of control. And learning how to come back to that center, come back to that quiet mind, come back to that inner strength, because so much of it is the person is just missing. The person is just not there anymore because they have become their thoughts. and they become whatever situation or whatever anxiety or whatever it is that they're in. Um, so yeah, so I really want to just encourage you, if you're feeling super, super anxious or in your head or stuck in your thoughts or whatever it is, come back to just being. Come back to just being. And if you don't know how to do that, that's totally cool and okay. Our society has not taught us how to do that, which is really, really rather unfortunate. And the perpetuation of so much mental illness. And I am here to hold space for you and with you, and to act as guide for you and with you. Um, and to help teach you some of those coping skills so that you can come back to this place of just being. So anyways, I that just really wanted to be spoken. I just really wanted to be spoken. So if you're feeling a ton of anxiety right now, if your brain is going and can't stop, it's up right now. It's up in the collective. It's up in individuals within the collective, which is then perpetuating the collective, which is then perpetuating the individuals. So it's all just this cycling back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I'm getting lots of hearts on that one too. Yep. Totally. Totally, totally. So I don't know if you guys have any questions. We did our last Q&A 2 weeks ago. It's funny. Before I went to schedule this a couple of weeks ago, I like had this feeling and I was like, okay, new moon or full moon, new moon or full moon. And I just have a feeling that the full moon is just going to be too much. There's going to be too much like scattered energy in 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm not going to be in the mindset to be doing a Q&A. So I settled for the new moon. And now I'm like, why couldn't I have picked an in between? I could have gone with quarter moons. I could have gone with no phase. I could have gone like in the middle of the week at some point. And I just felt like for some reason I just got caught in this regimented thing that I've been in. So here we go, noticing patterns, y'all. I'm here to just like notice my patterns in front of you so that you can be like, oh, that's what that looks like. It's such a pleasure for me. Dawn says, I feel that anxiety, but at the same time, a weird sense of calmness. Yeah, totally. So I want to affirm you in that too, because, Dawn, it's so good to see you here. I'm so happy you're here. Um, yeah, like this is what's happening. It's like we are literally in this very, very odd and incredible time societally. Because what's happening is we are literally witnessing the breaking of patterns of our entire collective right now. It's like we are just like collectively breaking patterns that we have been perpetuating for centuries. Um, and one of those patterns is this being up in the head all the time, being caught in the thoughts, constantly giving power to our thoughts, allowing our thoughts to control us, stepping into the anxiety, becoming addicted to this feeling of anxiety and the feeling that the adrenaline, because that's what happens. Like if you're feeling a certain amount of anxiety, it's going to actually it's going to propagate your adrenaline release, and adrenaline can be incredibly addicting as well. And so there can be this addiction to anxiety that we can feel, that I think is honestly a lot more present in our society than anybody really speaks to. Um, but yeah, so what you're feeling is the breaking of this pattern. It makes sense that you're feeling the anxiety and also this weird sense of calmness, because you're feeling the anxiety of the collective, you're feeling the anxiety of your own anxiety and your own patterns of getting caught in that anxiety, whether that's an old pattern or a current pattern. And you're also feeling the universe around you being like, but this isn't necessary. This isn't serving you. This isn't serving anybody around you. This just isn't necessary anymore. And you're also feeling this calmness from people in the collective who are breaking the pattern as well already. So again, like where that anxiety is cycling, you're also seeing this calmness cycling. So you're seeing the anxiety reflected within and without, and you're seeing the calmness reflected within and without. And this is also why, a couple weeks ago when I came on and did the Q&A, I was talking about this roller coaster stuff that was happening. And it's, yeah, this is why, because we're cycling opposites. Blythe Abs. I'd actually love to know your name. Perhaps you've already told me this. Perhaps you've already told me your name. I say this every single time, you guys. I want to know Instagram handles. I'm really bad at them. But Blythe Abs says, learning there's often more than one belief intertwined with others, but not all always needing to be uprooted. Yeah, learning how to let go of some, all, and keep experimenting with life. My name is Blythe. Oh, well, that's easy. Now I'll remember that. Hey, Blythe. Last name Abby, hence the abs. Love it. That's awesome. Thank you and thanks for being here. I know I've seen you here before, so it's cool to see you again. And hey, Emma, thanks for being here. So yeah, very great points, Blythe. For sure. Yeah, and it's all this constant, like, is this serving me? Is this not? And like sometimes letting go of things to have them return in a new way later on. I speak all the time about the idea of psychic abilities being fluid, and a lot of the time when we are releasing an ability, it's so that it can come back later in a way where we can, like in a completely different capacity, where we can handle it with different perspective and understanding. Don says, I have a deep faith that everything is going to be okay. Yeah, totally. Totally. You know what else is showing up too, Dawn, as you say that, is I've also been seeing a lot of people connecting with their guides. And this is something that I've kind of spoken to a little bit through the end of 2020 when we had that big Jupiter Saturn conjunction in December. I was talking about this idea of soul family coming together. And I think I wrote about this for the 2021 article, speaking to the energy of this year. There's so much backing for just soul family coming together. And I feel this too, like with my clientele as well. Like I've been getting new clients that I'm like, soul family, like every time, or like even old clients that I've been working with for a while. I'm like, they're finally like stepping into themselves in this whole new level where they're like, I'm here and this is me and this is my energy. And I'm like, there you are, like soul family. And so it's just this really cool thing. And I've been feeling this, like, this kind of like these waves of how do I explain this? Like it's just like everything's wanting to come together really cohesively right now. Like the universe is really highlighting for us how just like being and going with the direction of the energy flowing in the path of least resistance, as I speak to all the time, how that is helping us to align not only to ourselves and to our own purposes, but also to each other. And just kind of like this expansiveness of like of that in that arena. But also because of that too, like taking into account not just people in the 3D, not just the 3D version, not just the physical version, but also the energy version, right? So we're seeing people, we're seeing a lot more connection to our guides right now and our guidance team. And I'm just seeing a lot of that, where people are suddenly becoming more aware. Even I'm becoming more aware of like certain guides that I have been with me my whole life, but it's just I've not been fully completely conscious of them, and then they've been making themselves known, and I'm like, oh, that's what that feeling is. Like that's what that very distinct but subtle feeling is that I have been tapping into for the last several decades. So it's really interesting how everything's just kind of becoming very illuminated right now. And then kind of to add another layer of that too, playing in so much of this middle space and understanding that it's not just about like, oh, we have our soul family, human family, and then we have our spirit guides. Um, like it's also a both and. So like our spirit guides are also our soul family. So many of them are spirits who have not incarnated on this earth in human bodies in this lifetime. And but like in other lifetimes we've been incarnated together, you've been incarnated together, and so they are also soul family. And then also looking at it from the lens of like, we as humans are energetic beings and we also connect on astral levels and not just in the physical, and so we can also be spirit guides for each other, which is just such this innovative, different way of thinking about it. Like I deeply feel like my mentor is a guide for me in the astral. I know this. I mean, she was showing up in dreams for me before I even started working with her. I've had several clients, and specifically my apprenticeship clients or journey clients, who have told me, "Oh yeah, like I this is wild. I like you came into my dream and then the next day I found your website," or like, whatever it is, like these weird little like synchronistic things where it's very, very clear that we are working with each other, not just in the physical. It's not just about soul family. It's like we're soul family and we got your back. Hey, Jeff, thanks for being here. Good to see you. Um, so yeah, it's like and actually Jeff, I'm gonna call you out here because I feel like we've been doing we've been doing this with each other. Like Jeff is a really good friend of mine. He's been an old friend of mine for uh, since high school, and like I feel like we've been doing this with each other for like the last probably 2 months, and like you'll notice that too, that there's this ebb and flow to it. Like people will come in and out of your life and guidance, but like I feel like Jeff and I have been like very much communicating on the astral, and like we've had each other's backs and we've been like helping each other to work through some stuff. Yeah, I feel you, buddy. I feel you on the other end, like, yep. So I love you. Um, but yeah, so I'm like turning red right now because I'm just like so happy. Um, but yeah, so to just be able to view this from this different lens of like, it's not an either or. It's not, oh, you are my friend and soul family in the physical, and then like here is my guidance team in the astral. Like, no, both and, y'all, both and. So yeah. See, this is why I came on, because I was like, I don't know that I'm gonna get specific questions today, but all of this information is going to need to be disseminated in one way or another. Mm. But if you guys have any questions, I am here for it. I don't know that I'm gonna stay the whole hour. That's the other thing I was kind of told before I came on here. Blythe, I'm feeling so much love from you right now. Thank you so much, friend. Um, oh yeah. So if you yeah, that was the other thing I was told, is like before you come on, you might not be here the whole hour. Hey Danielle, thanks for being here. Yeah. So if you guys have any other questions, I am here for it. um let's see. What else is coming through though? I feel like I'm gonna pull a card. I feel like that's a good use of this energy that's here. What deck wants to be called on this one? All right. We're going with Magical Messages from the Fairies. This is a Doreen Virtue deck. 2 cards just fell out right away. I didn't even open, like, barely open the box. I love these messages. Okay. We've got patience, please. I feel like a lot of you need to hear this right now. Patience, please. What you're asking for is coming about. Have patience, as there are unseen factors that need to occur first. I'm going to read it again. Patience, please. What you're asking for is coming about. Have patience, as there are unseen factors that need to occur first. We are experiencing so much of this right now, my friends. Um, so, as many of you know, today's the new moon in Pisces. We also have Neptune meeting there, Venus meeting there, and the Sun meeting there, obviously, because new moon and Sun, they're going to be together. Um, I spoke to this a lot the other night when I came on live, impromptu. Um, Pisces is the sign of illusions, of uncovering illusions, of dreams, the dream world, veils, etc. And so there is a lot going on, and has been, there's been so much activity in Pisces lately, you guys, like the last like week and a half. It's been really, 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 really strong. Um, so just please just trust. I know that it's such a simple ask in the verbiage, but it's one of the most difficult lessons that a person can learn in a lifetime, is how to completely trust and surrender. Um, so that's what this card is saying, is to trust that things are happening under the surface. And this is where I'm feeling like all of this anxiety that I was telling you about, that I was experiencing as I'm seeing clients, like that they show up and they're like and then all of a sudden, like, it's like, okay, so tell me, like, what is there to do about that, or how do you feel about that, or whatever, and then like they answer and it all just goes away. We feel this need to constantly be doing something, as though it's in our control, as though we have some sort of power over, how things are going to come about. We don't. We don't. And that is a very scary notion to most of us. If you let that go and you trust that the universe is working underneath the surface, that's when things are going to happen for you. I'm getting this image. There are these trees. I forget what they're called. They're pretty prominent in northern Michigan, but there are these trees that they'll grow in basically these groves, because the root systems are all attached. Mushrooms grow this way as well, where the root systems are all attached, and so you'll see these things that are popping up on the surface of the soil that look completely separate, but underneath everything is totally intertwined and grown together, and it is the same organism. And that's exactly what is happening right now in all of our lives, is that we are all one organism, deeply connected underneath the surface. And even though we look like individual people, and we are individual people on the surface, everything is interconnected, and it's all happening subconsciously. It's all happening in ways that we don't quite know, don't quite understand, maybe never will know or understand, and that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we know or understand it. It just matters that everything's coming together, and you have to trust. Well, I shouldn't say you have to, because I'm not going to tell you what you have to do or don't have to do. It's your decision. You're an autonomous human. But yeah, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. Have trust. And then the next card is new home. Moving is a step in the right direction for you. Many of you, I do feel like this actually has to do with the new home, but like there's just lots of movement right now. We're in a 5-year numerologically that's going to be about movement. But this card, I think, is actually speaking more so to the collective energy. It's speaking to new earth. We're coming into new homes within ourselves, new home within a new collective energy. New home. Moving is a step in the right direction for you. As we move from the doing to the being, as we move from the collective state of anxiety to the collective state of peace. This is that moving in the right direction that this card is speaking to. So patience, trust that whatever needs to happen is happening. You don't need to do anything about it. Just allow. Just allow. And I'm not saying like, oh, so many people bag on the law of attraction for this, and I agree with this bagging, because they like simplify it into this thing of basically like you could sit on your couch and wish for a Ferrari and it's going to show up in your driveway. That's not how this works. I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying don't do the work. I'm not saying, to completely disregard or discard any part that you may have to play in this. What I am saying is work smarter, not harder. Work smarter, not harder. Don't do everything. Don't try to control the doing of everything. Be here. Listen here. Listen here. In your gut. Facebook, y'all just got a weird shot of me, but you know what I'm trying to show you. Listen here. What does your body tell you? What does your gut tell you? Follow that. Don't follow this. Logic has its place. And you'll know exactly when to use that. You'll know exactly when to tap into that. Don says, are you a medium? Yes, I do have mediumship abilities. I do not, I'm very, very specific about when I utilize those. So it depends on why you're asking, but in short, yes, the answer is yes. Cassie says, hey Cassie, thanks for being here. I'm noticing a lot going on this past week with friends and family. I know the deep shadow work due to this new moon, but anything else going on feeling heavy? Yeah, so I want to encourage you to look back. I did a live, was it last night? No, 2 nights ago. I did a live on Thursday night. The replay is here on Facebook and on IGTV for those of you who are on Instagram. Yeah, I speak to a lot of these energies, but basically, yeah, what's happening is just a ton of Piscean stuff that's going on. So lots of unveiling of things, collective illusions that are crumbling. And because of that, people are either feeling relief or they're resisting and they're fighting back, and so they're feeling a lot of fear and a lot of need to control because of that fear, or a lot of getting angry because of it. I used this metaphor a couple of times this last month. When ice goes to melt, and here we're coming into the springtime, when ice melts, it gets harder before it breaks or melts completely. I'm going to say it again. When the sun shines on the ice, the top of the ice might turn into water, the bottom of the ice might turn into water, but the middle of the ice is going to get harder and stronger before it eventually gives in and melts. When in doubt, always look to nature, because it's going to teach us. This is the very normal human reaction to any kind of change, to any kind of unveiling of an illusion over what we once thought was truth. We're going to feel this resistance to it. Our toxic patterning might become even more toxic before we're able to soften and relinquish ourselves and surrender. So notice also for yourself, where do you find yourself growing more resistant and therefore harder in your toxic patterns? I often speak about this from the lens of other people, right? But like, let's bring it to you also. because it can't just always be other people are the problem. Where are you the problem here sometimes? Cassie says, haha, why do I fight it? LOL. Because it's normal. It's normal human conditioning. It really is. Like it's wired in our brains to be that way. It's wired in our brains to see change as something that is um, potentially detrimental to us or dangerous. Jenny says, oh, Emma says, oh, my nanny was called Doreen. Oh, I love that. Jenny says, yeah, it's been a heavy feeling energy. And yes, about the doing. Yeah, feels like under the surface stuff for sure. And again, that under the surface stuff is so Piscean. It's so Piscean. Yeah. Been feeling like things have seemed so complicated, but now realizing it's simpler and easier than I thought makes me feel like anything is actually possible. Yes, absolutely. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. We like things to be complicated. That's how the human brain has control over us. And so, because things are so much simpler, it's urging us to just overthink things because we feel like there's an absence somehow. Like we feel like somehow if we are not constantly thinking, then something's wrong. If it's peaceful, something's wrong. If it's simple, something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. In fact, everything's right. This is the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be easy, supposed to be peaceful, supposed to be calm, supposed to be. We're stepping into this new paradigm, friends. Blythe says, can you talk about maybe like intuitive numerology? I've been great question. I've been journaling and I'm choosing to observe a quote portal this month from 3/3 to 3/13 to 3/23. Does this mean anything to you? Yeah, totally. So I did also talk about this. Today is 3/13, or 13/3, depending on how you write your date. And I did speak to this the other night as well, but I'll speak to it again because it wants to come out again. The number 13 in specific is very much associated with feminine energy. It's also associated with things that are hidden. So again, and actually, I don't think I said that the other night, which is interesting because I meant to and I was feeling it. Maybe the energy was there and the words just weren't. In fact, I know the energy was there and the words just weren't. But yeah, so if we think about it, like even, 13 represents things that are hidden. Or things that are mystical, or things that are like a little bit kind of like in the in between, so to speak. Again, very Piscean, this kind of dream state, kind of like semi lucid, but not really what's real, what's not. If we look at astrology, even we have the 12 sign system and the 13 sign system. The 13 sign system is just starting to get noticed, but it wasn't until after a lot of backlash. I was one of those people giving it backlash, and I now use it in addition to the 12 sign, because I do think that there's definitely a lot of truth there. But we do have 13 signs in astrology. And so there's the number 13 with that. 13 moons, 13 moon cycles throughout the year. 13 in tarot is the card of death. So again, just like this fear of like death, dying, but it's like with any death it's just a dying off, and then new growth can come in. Like death is necessary. So and I'm not saying that to be insensitive to anybody. I feel somebody getting really triggered on the other end of this. It's reality. I'm sorry to say it that blatantly, but it is reality. And the death process in and of itself is it's like even without thinking about new stuff coming in, like that process is necessary. Yeah. So yeah, so anyways, that's 13. I just went off on a whole rant on 13, but in terms of these threes for you, because the number 3 seems to be popping up, 303, 313, 323. The way that I'm speaking this is even in a 3 pattern, right? Do 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 do, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. We can think of a waltz, we can think of that motion, we can think of that dancing. 3 is very cyclical, and that's the energy of it. It is life, death, rebirth. It is the Son, the Father, the Holy Spirit. It is the Mother, the Maiden, the Crone. I did that in the opposite order, but you know what I'm saying. It is morning, day, and night. It is, I mean, you know, you're getting the picture here. You're getting the idea. 3 is all about cycles. It's about change. It's about transformation. It's about beginnings, endings, and middles. And very much about that middling, that middle space. And it's also about, because of all of this, this is all creative energy, right? We think about death, birth, rebirth. That all has to do with creation. And so 3 is very, very creative energy. Anything to do with speaking, singing, dancing, making art, channeling, etc. All of that is going to be associated with 3. And also just like sharing your story and communicating in general. So all of those things are 3. Activating this specific portal for yourself this month, focusing on those middle numbers, because again, 3 is so much about middling as well. 0 is the number that represents everything and nothing at the same time. It's where there's a meeting of things and a meeting of nothing. It's beginnings and endings. It's the universe. 0 and 8 both represent the universe. 0 is kind of more of like the amorphous energetic side of it, whereas 8 is more of like that intersection of the astral and the physical, etc. So there's that 0. 1 is magic, tapping into your inner magician, finding wonderment in the world around you, things like that. And 2 is all about duality, balance, extremes, things like that. So I hope that all helps you out and makes sense for you. And I love that you're doing this. That's really, really cool that you felt guided to do that and you intuited it. And I mean, like, I just gave you a whole bunch of information, but I really want to encourage you also to find what that all means for yourself too, Blythe. Yeah. Thank you for your wisdom. I'll have to DM you on this later on. Yeah, awesome. Cool, thank you. I'm glad that was helpful for you. Jenny says 3 can also be perspective, thinking about a painting, foreground, middle, background, goes with the creative. Yeah, absolutely. For sure, for sure. For sure. All right. Well, I don't know if you guys have any other questions. If not, I might just go ahead and pull another card because that's what the energy is. I'm not feeling that deck anymore though. No, I'm not feeling this deck either. Alright, okay. We're just going fairies today, guys. It's just who keeps calling. So, don't know who's here who has extreme fae energy. Aside from me, I have a lot of fae energy. So we're going with, this box is like torn apart, you guys. Okay, this is the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and Selena Fenech. Oracle deck is near and dear to my heart because it is the first deck that I ever purchased by myself. So, hey Jenny, thanks for being here. Not Jenny DVM. I already knew you were here. We're talking remembered practice, Jenny. I felt you being like, wait, but I've been here. So I know, I know. I'm saying hi to Jenny. Remembered practice, Jenny. Um, okay. So just needed to clarify that. Also, guys, if your psychic perceptions have just been like on height right now, that's also a lot of this Piscean energy that's happening too. Not to mention just like this collective wrangling of all of us to just be like uplifted. Into psychic connection, because again, that mycelium thing, right, the that mushroom connection thing underneath, we're all connected. Okay, the number two, I don't know who needs the number two, but two cards just came out of here again. All right, y'all, so this is real deep. This is great. So firstly, we have the Merlin, guidance, mentorship, and teacher of the old ways. I know these cards are really pretty. I don't know who just thought that, but this is one of my favorite decks in the world. And we've got a number 33 here. We've got a number 33 here. Guidance, mentorship, teacher of the old ways, Merlin. So, I need to take the glasses off for this one. This is big. Feeling a lot of really, really big energy from this one. So the first thing that's coming in is just that this is representative of the wisdom of the universe right now. And that the wisdom of the universe is coming in to teach us so much right now. So much. Turning to universe, God, source, goddess, whatever you connect to, turning to that higher power. And that's not to be confused as anything outside of yourself, because again, this mycelium thing, you are a part of it, you are connected to it, it is connected to you, as within so without. You are the divine is you. But finding that place where it's kind of like a voice for the entire collective. It's the energy of the new earth. It's the energy of this. Connecting into this as your guide. That's going to be really huge, and especially in being able to dispel a lot of these anxious thoughts, really drop into the body, drop into the being, which are one and the same. Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm getting that big time. I'm also getting, don't be afraid. You know, we brought up this whole idea in the beginning of spirit guides and the guidance team. Don't be afraid to call on your spirit guides. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to have them teach you. Learn from them. And to that same token, we talked about people who are in our lives who can also act as spirit guides. Don't be afraid to turn to them also. Ask for help. Ask for assistance. Be open to listening to what they have to say. About a year or so ago, maybe a couple years ago even actually at this point, I started looking at when anybody speaks, it's a spell of knowledge. And it doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't matter if, even if what they're saying is just complete crap and it's toxic and whatever, it's still teaching me something. It's still teaching me how to have compassion, or how to understand their perspective, or how to see where I once thought, where I once was at, and how far I've come, or how to see how to help them, or. The list goes on. Every time somebody opens their mouth, I am listening. I am here for it. And I am wondering what it is helping to teach me. I encourage you to do the same. You'll be amazed by how much your own being shifts when you go into that mode. That said, also, like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if you are feeling a pull. I don't want to use that word pull as in, like, if you feel like you're being hooked, because if you feel like you're being hooked, ignore that crap. That's not good. But if you're feeling an actual internal pull from within to work with somebody, and I'm not just like trying to plug this like to subconsciously get you to work with me. No, like if you don't feel me, don't feel me. We're not right for each other. We're not right for each other. But like if you I'm speaking in general about any practitioner right now. Any practitioner. If you are feeling the pull to go get some Reiki done, to go get a card reading, to just go sit and talk, to go to therapy, to whatever it is, listen to that call. That is so big time right now, especially with the way that people are in their heads. It's going to help get you some perspective. It's going to help you get out of your head. Listen to that. Listen to that. And I'm hearing to say this for somebody. Somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I hear you on the other end so strongly right now." Oh yeah, like, but and they're like, "Yeah, I want to do this, but the money, the money. Don't worry about the money. Money will come back to you." I know that that sounds really kind of flu, whatever, but this is the way energy flows with the path of least resistance. If you are resisting to go get help for yourself, the money will resist you. The money will be there for you to pay for whatever services you need, if indeed you need them. And if you do the work to get over that block and get around that block and get through that block. Okay? Needed to be said. I'm seeing things come in, and then I'm going to show you the second card, which some of you might fall over at. I have a feeling. Hey Johan, thanks for being here. Jenny says, I've bought the fairy deck since you've used it so often and it spoke to me. It's an awesome deck and it's always so on point. Seriously, I will never forget when I got this deck. And like the way that I used to read cards is I was very, very I was very intricate about it. But I used to like spread them all out and I would put my hand over it, and I swear to you, I'm actually watching it happen right now. I swear to you, this deck is alive. It is alive. And I would see like the edges. They should give me commission on these decks, you guys. I would see like the edges, like the corner of the cards like start to like flip up towards my hand when they wanted to be picked. I'm not even kidding you. It's wild. Hey, Doug, thanks for being here. Jenny says, we are the universe talking to itself when we talk to one another. Absolutely. 100%. Hey, Alan, thanks for being here. Okay, so, boom, boom. That's our Merlin. And then, I don't know. I want to say it was on the first full moon of the year, actually. I want to say it was on the January full moon that I pulled, or new moon, that I pulled this guy. And the same card just came out. Green Man's Bride. Sacred union, commitment ceremony, maturing into deep relationship. I know. So many of you are having like big brain explosions right now. And I know a couple of you who are watching right now who are like, this message was for me. So you're welcome. You are welcome. Thanks for showing up when you were called. Okay, I'm going to repeat it again. This is, once again, and so much of the theme today has been about this idea of soul family and coming together in soul family. But also, we are all each other. So this is about coming into union with the self. You come into union with yourself, more soul family is going to come into union with you, and vice versa. Come into union with yourself, and your soul family will come into union with you. and you will come into union with your soul family. I don't even have anything more to say about this because I just don't. But if you remember when I pulled this card a couple of months ago, the card that came before it was fairy tale ending. Let's see if I can find it. Ah, right at the top here. Fairy tales, letting go, detachment, and moving on. So it seems as though we've gone beyond this cycle to now this cycle. We've gone beyond the needing to let go. We've already done the letting go. We've already done the moving on from the illusions. And this Pisces new moon and all of this activity in Pisces has helped us to further let go, further detach, further shine a light on all of the illusions that needed to be illuminated so that we can come to this place of now seeking guidance. We can say, okay, I'm done. I let go. Now, please, universe, help me to learn how to become more in union with myself and therefore in union with everyone and everything else. That's nifty. You already did the work that you needed to do by yourself. Now it's time to ask for help. Boom. Mic drop. Let's see. All right. I'm not seeing any other questions from y'all. I'm actually feeling, well, nope. Somebody has a question. All right, I will wait. I will wait. I was gonna say I'm feeling like this is complete, but Jenny says I literally wrote that of the universe in my journal yesterday. I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Jenny. Yeah, I figured you meant ask that. It's funny when you said wrote that, I equated that with asked that. What was I gonna say? I was going to say something. Oh, I wanted to ask just clarifying question. You asked that of the universe in terms of you asked for more guidance, or you asked for being able to come further into union with yourself, or both? Guidance to be able to come into union with yourself. Maybe it was both. I don't know. Okay. um oh, ask for more guidance to come into union with myself. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. Yeah, that's something that I have been asking for the last couple of years every single morning when I wake up. It's something that I ask for more deeply, a deepened union with myself and therefore all else. And I'll tell you what, it's been showing up. It's been showing up big time. And I've gotten reflections from a lot of you as well that I look different or I'm acting different or whatever, and that it's more resonant. So thank you to those of you who have also seen that in me and given me that reflection. And also for those of you who have given me the opportunity to give that reflection to you as well and help you to get to that point. Because I know that I can't help you get to that point if I'm not also at that point. So there's also that. Another deck's asking to come out. I didn't even think before that I did that. See, this is the illustration. Remember, I said to you guys, I am here to illustrate the breaking of patterns and the way things are so that you can learn how to do them and you can learn what they look like. Remember, we were talking about patience, please. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to do everything. You can just allow things to be and to trust that they're going to happen. I did not even think before I took this deck out of my bag just now. I literally was just like going with the motions and like here we are. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. By the way, guys, this deck is called, I'll show you the guidebook because the box is very pretty, but it doesn't have a thing. This is the Moon deck by Aarona Sharina Lee and Andrea Kay. Beautiful deck also. When I let others shine, I shine too. When I let others shine, I shine too. It looks extra cool on Instagram because I've got a filter on and there are like all these little stars that are happening. When I let others shine, I shine too. How freaking appropriate. Freaking appropriate. When you are fully in your power, it's because I'm allowing myself to witness you in your power, which is therefore inspiring me to step more fully into my own power. And then when I step fully into my own power, it's inspiring you to step even more deeply into your own power. And therein lies, again, this cycling of energy. We need to be able to find people to surround ourselves with, this soul family, to surround ourselves with, to inspire each other and inspire ourselves to constantly be growing, to constantly be shifting, to constantly be stepping further into ourselves more deeply. Jenny says, oh my God, I love when I show up for the cards. Yeah. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. Yeah. So yeah. There's I love this. These guys should give me a commission too. I love this deck because also I'm going super ADD here with y'all. The card on the Green Man's Bride, for those of you who are I knew there was a reason I was looking. I knew there was a reason I was looking at the numbers. Look at this. 38s. Both of these are the 38th card in the deck. More 3s. And remember I talked about that 8, guys, being the number of the universe and integrating astral and physical energies. Again, we're kind of seeing this cycling energy that's happening here too. Anyways, the reason I was going to pick this up is because this deck is so amazing that it comes with like a little ritual for each card too. So I'm going to go ahead and read that for you guys. The ritual is a praise practice. When we openly, I love this. When we openly and sincerely acknowledge our admiration for another, we affirm the power of connection and dissolve the illusion of competition. I'm going to read it again. When we openly and sincerely acknowledge our admiration for another, we affirm the power of connection and dissolve the illusion of competition. This ritual will build confidence and radiance for both you and others. So here's the ritual. For 7 consecutive days, starting today, vocally share your admiration for another woman. This deck is geared towards women, but I'm just going to say towards another human, because I do not care what body you are in or what gender you associate with. It is another human. For 7 consecutive days, starting today, vocally share your admiration for another human. Do this at least once a day. Speak to and be present with the specific human you're admiring. Yeah, so this is going to feel like an edge for a lot of you. It felt like an edge for me when I started doing this type of thing, not from this ritual, but this type of thing several years ago. I started implementing this into my life, and it literally has changed everything. Literally, it's just amazing. So it feels like an edge, and you're going to feel really awkward doing it, and you're going to feel like, what if this person thinks I'm weird for telling them this? They don't think you're weird, and if they do, it's because they've got their own insecurities and they don't believe what you're reflecting for them, and it's very uncomfortable for them to receive that kind of admiration or compliment. Guess what? You are giving them shadow work to do. Congratulations. That's now out of your hands and on them. Either way, you are changing their life in a positive direction. Do it if it feels good to you. Okay, so that was part one. Part two, challenge yourself to mix it up between strangers, family, friends, and colleagues. As an additional bonus, include yourself in the mix. I think that goes without saying, though. Part three, are you inspired by their style, their art, their smile, their beauty, their words, their vibe, or their achievements? Gracefully let them know. Be centered and genuine as you speak. Notice the energy left in the air afterwards. Again, speaking to this idea of so much happening underneath the surface. Hey Shannon, thanks for being here. So much happening underneath the surface. A lot of the time I think we don't tell people that we love them or that we admire them because we're afraid that the words won't hold the gravity of our feeling. But again, underneath the surface, y'all, if we tune in to the truth in our feeling and we allow that to come through our words can then become spells of energy. We can trust that the person is feeling everything that we're speaking. It's no longer just about words. It's about the vibration that's happening in our throats as we're creating the words. It's about the energy that goes into that vibration that then comes out auditorily, that then hits their ears, that hits their whole being. And the energy that's happening in between those spaces as well. It's not just about the vibration. It's the energy. If the energy is felt, the energy will be felt. And the last part is embrace this healthy and supportive approach towards, well, it says towards women in sisterhood as you vocalize your admiration. This will make you both shine. So I'll transform that into humanity. Embrace this healthy and supportive approach towards humans and soul family as you vocalize your admiration. This will make you both shine. All right. I know I split all of that up, so I'm just going to go ahead and read this whole ritual once through so that you guys have it. Okay, for 7 consecutive days, starting today, vocally share your admiration for another human. Do this at least once a day. Speak to and be present with the specific human you're admiring. That presence is so important. Challenge yourself to mix it up between strangers, family, friends, and colleagues. As an additional bonus, include yourself in the mix. Are you inspired by their style, their art, their smile, their beauty, their words, their vibe, or their achievements? Gracefully let them know and be centered and genuine as you speak. Notice the energy lift in the air afterwards. Embrace this healthy and supportive approach towards humans and soul family as you vocalize your admiration. This will make you both shine. And with that, I see that the hour is complete. And it feels like the energy is complete. Somebody's wanting to see this card again. I will show it to you. When I let others shine, I shine too. I love y'all. You're my soul family. I love you big time. Big, 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 big time. So grateful that you're here. Every single time you show up. Even if this is your first time. So grateful you're here. And, yeah. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Saturday. Beautiful rest of this new moon. I know it's been really, really, really intense for a lot of people and also super peaceful and relieving for others, and also both or somewhere in between for most of us. There's just so much. so much. Oh, Blythe and Jenny, you're so welcome. I love you too, Shannon. mm. Feeling into this, sinking into this, feeling the love of all the family that's here. Because guess what? If you're my soul family and I'm your soul family, then all y'all are each other's soul family too. And we're all just in this big, beautiful container of soul family. It's amazing. So, anyways, I love you all deeply. Take care of yourselves. Be gentle with yourselves. And try to be gentle with others as well, if possible. If possible. Um, at the very least, try to be compassionate with them, even if through large and definitive boundaries. Because boundaries are compassion too. Yeah. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves.